Okay, I guess that'll do for now. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Yeah, this is actually going to be a really good one. So today we're going to talk about, first I want to thank everyone for being here. That's what I feel in my heart to say. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for coming for the message. I appreciate it. And what we're going to talk about today is the false higher self. And we're going to talk about, I don't know what happened. It's so weird. We're going to talk about the false higher self, and then we're also going to talk about, clear my throat. We're also going to talk about what are portals and how are they used. So we'll be talking about the false higher self, or the possibility of it. It's not very, from my experience so far, it's not very common to experience a false higher self, but it happens from time to time. My booking page is there. Hopefully the link works. And then also I put the Patreon in case anyone would like to join us on Patreon. We're doing a living course there on spiritual opulence and creation magic, and that is there so that you can gain more confidence and learn how to clear your trauma, use your soul for more than just manifestation, but to actually live a more in alignment reality. That's the best way I can put it. So we'll be exploring a lot there, and that course will be there until Spirit tells me that it doesn't need to be there anymore. And if you hear snoring, that's Bay. He's asleep. So he's he's got work tonight. Anyway, so what I want to talk about, I'm going to start with, because a lot of people don't understand portals, so I'm going to start with the portals today, and then I want to get into dream manipulation. And, oh no, not dream manipulation. We did that already. We did that last week, right? So I'm going to start with the false higher self. Then we're going to get into what are portals. Someone asked me this question on YouTube, and I thought it was a great question. I explained it really well there, and it's just something that's been coming up. So we're going to talk about the portal. What are portals? How are they used? And then first we're going to get into this. So the false higher self. I wanted to wait for a couple more people to come on, but they'll see it when they see it. If anybody's in the group Cosmic Gang, share it to the group. Because I don't know why. This is not letting me. I tried to share it to the group, and it's just not letting me. It's not letting me share it there. So, oh well. Should have clicked on the button when I first got here. And hey, what's up, Goddess Kenya? What's up, D? And anybody else who's on right now. Hello, hello. Welcome. So, I had 2 clients this week. One was aware. He had been working he was doing great this year because he's been one of my clients since last year. And a lot of my clients will go through a time where we work together for a while, and then, there'll be some space in between, and then I love coming back to them because so many of them are on their journey, and so many of them are on their journey and on their path, and they stay on target. And I really just appreciate that because these are true seekers. They're seeking their inner knowledge. They're seeking their own inner selves. And I just appreciate that about them. I also want to start by saying that it is my intention that I can bring you accurate information and wisdom to the best of my knowledge. And if this information ever evolves or changes in any way, I will absolutely inform you of whatever I find out, whatever is new. And then I want to encourage you to use your discernment and to always think critically. Question everyone, even me. And I say that because this isn't a place where I'm dictating your mind. This is a space where your mind is absolutely, positively liberated, and where your heart is liberated, and where you can decide what resonates with you and what doesn't. And there is no anger behind that. I want you to tap into yourself, your soul, first and foremost at all times. Okay, so I want to thank your higher self, my higher self, for being here. I want to thank the Great Mother for aligning all of this, as she has been She will always be every aspect of my own existence. And I just want to thank your spirit guides and my spirit guides for bringing us together today. The spirit guides that are the most benevolent and have your best interest at heart. So let's get into it. So I had 2 clients, and it's funny because they were both men this week. You know, it's funny because some weeks I get more masculine clients and some weeks I get more feminine, energetically clients, and I just think it's funny. It's like all the guys come at one time and all the girls come at one time, and I just love it. And some weeks are like mixed. Some weeks are just mixed. So I had 2 clients, and one of them frequency, and he had infringement. There was an etheric device, an attempt to implant it into one of his teeth, and he ended up his teeth out of nowhere like shattered, basically. Like he had to get them pulled. They started hurting, he had to get them pulled, but it was sort of random and like really out of nowhere. It wasn't like his teeth were messed up or anything before that. It was just like random. So he was thinking that maybe he had infringement, or maybe there was something that he could do to fix that. And when we looked into it, there definitely was some infringement going on, and that was a big session. This was the one where he had been working on his heart chakra, working on his trauma for the last year, and life has just been getting better and better for him, because he's in alignment with his divine life purpose. And we were able to sort of just remove those last couple stumbling blocks. And he sort of noticed, and I was like, you have a false higher self. And how the false higher self comes through, he knew that it wasn't him. We've been to his higher self. It was a manipulation. Like he knows who he is. He definitely knows who he is. So he was completely aware, because he was completely in touch and in tune with his heart chakra, his inner self. And your inner self is your true self. So we'll talk about at the end how these false higher selves manifest, and how they tend to manipulate and try and keep your heart chakra as closed as possible, because once your heart chakra is open, then you'll no longer be able to be infringed upon. So this is all about taking your power back. So what happened with him was one thing, and then my other client, it was funny because I was like, okay, let's call in your higher self. And then I just asked him, I was like, well, what do you see? And he tells me what he sees, and I was like, similar energy, but it's a little different. And I was like, this is what I see. And he's like, oh, I haven't. And then by the end of the session, he saw the same higher self that I saw. And I wanted him to see it his own way. You know what I'm saying? For it to be authentic for him. And I do stuff like that in order to check my abilities, and to ensure that I'm always working harmoniously and working as accurately as possible. It's really important for me, because I take what I do really seriously. So it's really, really seriously in a lighthearted way, if you can, but if you will. But it's really important to me that I'm as authentic as possible with myself, and then I'm able to give people the best, most accurate, you know what I mean? So me not being infringed upon, and me having a clear heart chakra, and being able to connect with my higher self completely is extremely important for my work. Extremely important. And I take that very seriously. I never want to lead somebody the wrong way, even though I don't consider myself a leader. And I always tell you guys, lead yourselves. But I do consider myself someone that someone else would listen to, because of my experience, and my experience in this realm, and the work that I've been doing. So I really try hard to be as accurate as possible. So when we went through the second session, we were able to clear the false higher self, and this is how the false higher self will typically manifest. it will manifest, and it will manifest, and I'm going to tell you how to recognize it. So it'll manifest as a childhood, like if you have a childhood imaginary friend, or just an energy that seems to have been around you for a long time. As a child, you don't know, especially as a baby, you don't know the difference between like what you are and what something else is. So a lot of times as a child, we identify with everything as ourselves. Babies, for example, identify with their parents as themselves. So if you have this entity that's like hanging around you all the time, you may identify that as yourself, and that may cause an infringement later on in life. And that false higher self, I felt like really didn't mean any true harm. So I let that one go. And I was like, at this time, this is still, I could feel that from my intuition and from my connection with the Great Mother, I could feel that that being was still supposed to be here. And this was more of a jinn entity. And it was funny because when I saw it, it looked like, the genie from Aladdin. It looked like that. And when I saw him, because I know my client, I can feel their energy, I can sense their heart. And I'm like, these frequencies don't match. So even if it tries to get as close as possible to your frequency, your true frequency, something will be off and it won't quite match. So I was like, these don't match. So I was like, show me who you really are. And then I saw to the left of him a little bottle. And so this jinn entity had a little bottle, and they were actually trapping his soul, not the whole thing, a fragment, I believe. But it was a lot of times what they do with the soul fragments is they trap an aspect of your inner child. I have broken soul contracts, been able to retrieve fragments where an aspect of the person's soul will actually is in a bottle or in a box sometimes too. And sometimes it's a black Saturn cube, sometimes it's a wood box. And where the power and the energy from that soul has a lot of magical purposes, or from that soul fragment. So they'll usually try and go after some aspect of the inner child when they do this. So when that happens, that's a separate thing though. So, actually no, because both clients we ended up reintegrating a lot of soul fragments for them. So yeah, this might be a part of it. Wow, just thinking about that. Yeah, we did do for both of them. And then I had another beautiful, just Lemurian soul, beautiful sister. And she also had a manipulation coming when her soul was coming into the earth. These were like low-level entities though. So I was just like, come on, guys. You guys did a false contract. Give me her fragment back. And she had so many signs and synchronicities throughout her life where your self is always going to... Now, this is something that will stop you from being on your soul mission or your soul journey or finding your purpose, because you're like, first I need to be whole. First I need my whole self together. So a lot of times people will have all these signs and synchronicities that showed up in the 3D reality, and little feelings they get, like if your soul is trapped in a bottle, you might have a bottle around, or you might have this box that you're really into, and for some reason, like, you'll be like, I don't know why I feel this way about this, but I feel like something's in there for me. And it's you. It's an aspect of you that's in there. For her, I told her that a lot of times she would look at a snow globe, and on the inside, I was like, and you would feel like an aspect of you is trapped on the inside. And that's how this typically will manifest for a lot of people, for the soul to be fragmented that way. And you can absolutely positively reintegrate your soul. It's not as complicated as you think it is. It's just claiming your sovereignty and asking for all the parts of you to come back. You may want to cleanse any residual energy, or put up a wall or a shield. You can imagine it like your aura, like an egg. and that there's a layer of cleansing and protective energy. So as those fragments come in, they actually are getting cleansed also. So, dual properties there. Do what feels comfortable for you. And with the what I noticed is that the false higher self, it tends to show up as a child. It'll be that imaginary friend, or every time you call on your higher self, it'll show up instead of your actual higher self, in the case where your higher self would actually come with it, so it feels like you, because it's trapped in a bottle. So that's how that manifests. Now, what can we do about it? Because I don't want you to be in fear. I don't want you to feel like you're going to go throughout the reality and you're going to be scared all the time, or get paranoid and think that, this might be you. If this video is resonating with you hard, then yeah, it might be you. If you just think, oh, that's really interesting, I'm going to keep my mind out for that, then yeah, it probably isn't you. But if it is, the way that you'll know if you have a soul fragment missing, or if you are having a false higher self, is that when you go into your heart, and this is why healing heartbreak is extremely important. Healing heartbreak, healing trauma, especially childhood trauma, is extremely important, because if you can't reach into your heart space, if you can't reach, and as I'm doing this, I'm just imagining myself going deeper and deeper, right? Going into your inner verse through your heart chakra. The heart chakra is the seat of the soul. The heart chakra is where the soul actually emanates from into the body. So how you'll be able to, this is why the heart chakra is constantly being shut down, why you're being manipulated into karmic relationships, why there's a lot. I gotta go into another video for that. There's a lot with the heart chakra, and also the false pretense that a lot of people believe that the seat of the soul is the pineal gland, when the pineal gland is more of it sends and receives messages. So it's more of a receiver, and it's an apparatus, a tool. See, if we see it like an eye, how can we believe that the eyes are the window to the soul? You know what I mean? Like you can see someone's essence through the eyes because you're looking into their inner world, but that's not the emanation of the soul. That's not where the soul is actually emanating from. It's actually emanating from the heart space. And a lot of ancient people left clues. This is why the ancient Egyptians, when they did the mummies and stuff, the jar with the heart in it, they always put it back in. Everything else was outside of the casket, or the sarcophagus. All the other organs are outside. The brain is obviously just thrown away like it doesn't matter. But there was something special about the heart. And that's what it was, is that the soul will come into the body through the heart. And this was ancient wisdom that was, just completely stored away. And just people were completely not privy to this information for a while. And even though the clues and everything were right in front of us, it was very hidden. For me to even find that out, I had to do a lot of research. Because I was like, something's not right here. So I kept looking, and I had to know. You know what I mean? I had to know, and I was like, now everything makes sense. So, yeah. So going into your inner self, taking a second to take a breath, going into your inner self, feeling that aspect of you that is from source, and connecting in with that, is really what's going to end up helping you connect in with your soul. So the next thing that you can do is, if you do believe that you have a false higher self, so when you connect in with your soul, now you get acquainted with that energy. So many of us are cut off from our actual soul, that we were never taught the method of actually bringing the soul into the body to become one with it. to become how it says in the Bible, Jesus used to say, my Father and I are one, or me and my Father are one. You and your higher self can be one. That's actually a teaching from, if I'm not mistaken, it's from over in India. But there are these really enlightened like teachings over there where they actually work on merging with the higher self and becoming one with it. And an aspect of that is meditating on the heart and bringing it into your body. So once you know yourself, your frequency. Also, what's really important with the heart chakra is going to be your healing. I know, healing, shadow work, everybody gets scared, but if this is not healed, if your trauma is not healed, if you're not able to reconcile with your inner child, if you're not able to, forgive and even forgive yourself and learn non-judgment, what ends up happening is, now I didn't say not to learn discernment, always know your discernment, but learn non-judgment. Honestly, we're always the hardest on ourselves. We always judge ourselves the most. And when we can go within and learn non-judgment and really open and allow that heart chakra to be big and beautiful and bright like it's supposed to be, it's a lot easier for us to know ourselves, and we will be less open to infringement and manipulation. So that's how you're going to learn. Now, another thing with that is that what you'll notice when the false higher self comes, they will absolutely, remember, your pineal gland is a receiver of information and it gives off information. So if I'm asking, okay, higher self, come. And I'll feel her 2 seconds, and I feel her coming through me and in me. She is me. Beautiful, right? But if you call it and the frequency feels off to where it's not, like I can call that same energy from inside of myself. You know what I'm saying? So when you call your higher self and the frequency is off, check with your inner self. If something seems a little off to you, just check with your inner self and then you'll know. And then what you do is claim your sovereignty, use your words, claim your sovereignty and tell that being to leave right now. And whatever you have to do, if you need to this is why I pinned my booking page and stuff, because if you really are like, man, I'm having a really hard time with this, not that you need, you want. Remember, we're trying to take need out of the vocabulary. We've been working on that lately. If you want assistance, or if you feel like it would be helpful to have some guidance on how to do this, please feel free to contact me or contact any spiritual practitioner that you resonate with. Hey, what's up, Joe? Hey, what's up? I can never say your name. Akanlawan. Oh, that came out kind of good though, right? I hope I said it right. Hey, Tori. Hey, Tay. I didn't see you guys come in there. Yeah, so that's how you can really, really not combat this. I don't even know, like maybe 20 minutes. That's how you can learn how to begin to claim your sovereignty, and these are the signs that you can tap into so that you'll know if you're interfacing with the false higher self or not. We're about to move on to portals because, like I said, this was a question that I had on my YouTube channel, and I actually gave a really great answer. I was like, where did this beautiful answer come from? A lot of people don't know what portals are, and a lot of people don't know how to close portals. Now, first I'm going to tell you that your chakras are portals. Dun, dun, dun. And a lot of you know this, but what a lot of you don't know... Hey, what's up, Dionysus? But what a lot of you don't know is that there are entities, and through trauma and fragmentation of the consciousness, and where the part of the body that is resonating with that particular chakra is, that's where entity attachments will happen, and they typically will come through the back of the chakras. Now, I reference a 7 chakra system. I guess that's the best way I can say it, but that's not my main overlay. I really work with my inner 3 chakra system, which is your Dantian, your third eye, and your heart. Now, I reference the other ones because they're important. Speaking your truth is important. But I feel like the 7 chakra system was created in an absolutely but Okalawan. Okay, was that good? I feel like the 7 chakra system was absolutely created in a benevolent way. After thinking about this for a while, but I think that the flaw with the 7 chakras, and some people flip their chakras, and you can get creative with it. Like, do what works for you. The reason why it's so instituted by this new age shit that's always like half truths and inversions of the truth, is because of the weakness of it is the allowing of entities to actually attach to you through the back of your chakras. So check the back of your chakras. You can imagine like a big zipper coming up the back of your spine. Whatever means that this is closed to you in your mind, even if it's just like, okay, I'm going to put a strip of paint, of this, of that, whatever in your mind and your consciousness means this is closed. You can put that, you can envision closing, pulling in the back of the chakras, and they're closed, right? You can do it like that. And the reason why I do all this weird energy work stuff on camera, because it's like, Isabel, what are you doing? Is because if you can resonate with the energy and you can feel into my energy body, then you'll know how to do it for yourself. Hey, what's up, Marcus? Oh, what's up, bro? What's up, Black Dynamite? Living that good life. So that's what you can do to close the back of the chakra. So your chakras are absolutely portals. Also, your cells are portals. And I'm going to talk about the magical portals too. The ones that you can create and stuff. So also your cells themselves are portals. Your cells, as we know now, are mostly empty space. And basically they're just empty space. They're just space. There's nothing there unless you put it there in your consciousness. Also, and I think I was explaining it like, you know how your fingertips have spirals on them? Like, everybody look at their fingertips. Like, I like this one. This is one of my favorite ones. You can never see it on camera because the resolution isn't good enough. But I don't know. I always thought that was cool. Some people's chakras be stinking. Yeah, that's when you start being able to smell people's souls. Smell that good infringement, baby. Or sometimes people, their souls you'll smell it like rotting meat. And what I've been able to see is that some individuals, it looks like they're rotting from the inside out. And I think that's where the idea from zombies came from. Because like you would come across them, and if you have a spiritual eye, a third eye, and it's open, you could actually see the inside of the person sort of like rotting away. It's really like weird. Hey, what's up, Wamitha? Did I say that right? Wamitha. Yeah, I think that sounds right. I don't like to mess up anyone's name. That's why I'll literally sit here and look super slow and just get it right. But thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. So yeah. So basically, there are other portals, and everybody, if you feel called, please send some energy to New York. Just some loving, clearing energy, because what's going on there can affect all of us. And I know I close my eyes a lot because I'm really remembering everything that I've been thinking about lately, and I'm synthesizing it. So I'll close my eyes and just like channel myself essentially and just get the messages. So what's going on in New York is going to affect all of us, and I think that there are other portals like this around the world. I was explaining not so long ago that New York, specifically the Bronx, are on top of like crystals, on top of quartz. Like literally how Long Island was created is when the glaciers melted. There were a lot of rocks and stuff that came down, and it created this island. That's what we were told in school. Now I gotta double check it because I don't know, but that's how we were told in school. So a lot of New York is on top of like these boulders and these rocks and this crystal. And then, Marquise, shut up. I always say I think I've been saying it wrong since the beginning, but okay, Marquise, because I can't keep saying your name wrong. Because it's not fair. Because I say everybody else's name right. So yeah, so New York is on top of this. Also, New York happens to be one of the power nodes on the planet. So what that means is the planet has these ley lines, and this is going to tie into portals. That's what I want you guys to keep an open mind, because New York is actually a huge fucking portal. DC is a portal too. New York is a portal, a huge portal. Very powerful energy there. So there's something on the planet. If you don't know, I'm going to say this in kind of an elementary way for anyone that's new, but you have dragon lines, also known as ley lines. In a lot of animes and stuff, you're welcome, Marquise. In a lot of animes and stuff, they'll talk about the mana, or they'll talk about how there's they'll go to certain lands and stuff, and like certain areas, the mana would be more available, or it'll increase their energy. So that's what happens when you go to like a stone circle, like Stonehenge, or when you go to pyramids, like in Egypt, is that or even down in South America, like there's so many places on the planet, honestly. When you go to these places, you get an activation, because these are places where there's more energy from the planet flowing through. So just how you have your own energetic channels in your body. If you ever looked up one of those Reiki charts, they'll show it to you, like your own energetic channels in the body. The planet does, and there's certain areas where those channels intercept more. And then there's ways that you can create and divert more energy to areas by the structures and they say plants grow better in those areas. There's a lot of anomalies, a lot of UFO sightings in those areas, some disappearances. We bougie in here. Illinois on top. Huge ley lines. Yeah. Center of Chicago. You know what? And I noticed too that a lot of these end of the world movies, they still mention Chicago a hell of a lot. And I was like, what is good with Chicago? Like, what's going on in Chicago? That a lot of these like apocalyptic movies, like it's always like, oh, we have to, like somewhere in the script, it's always like, oh, we have to go to Chicago. And I'm like, what the fuck is good with Chicago? But that's a side note. I should have grabbed some water because my throat is getting super dry. Okay. Now, so where these energy channels intercept, right, where more of them would be, that would be considered a node or a power point on the grid. So that would be like your heart chakra, where you have more energy that flows through that area. You know, you have that big aorta, all that blood, all that energy coming through that space. So that makes it a powerful center in the body. So what ends up happening is, in New York, how they built the grid over that as an overlay, just like how your 7 chakras overlay your 3. But it can be used in a positive way. So I don't want you guys to get into a big conspiracy about it. It's just metaphysics. I need some water. Hold up. 1 second. I had a bottle of water here. Thankfully. I was like, why am my throat getting so dry? Wonderful. Alright, let's get back to it. So basically you have these ley lines, and so how they manipulated it in New York is they created a grid. Oh, y'all about to learn some deep shit. They created a grid over that power node to channel the energy a certain way, and the way that they channel it, it ends up being how I was seeing it in my mind. I'm just bringing the channel back to me. How I saw it in my mind was New York was like all that powerful energy was being channeled into the grid, and it creates, like, if you notice, people from New York tend to go back, or a lot of people are escaping now, but it's really hard to leave New York when you get there, and it seems like everything is created in a way to make you feel trapped. And that's on purpose, and the energy signature in the area, due to the way that the way they made Manhattan and all that, the way the streets and everything are, they created a grid over it so that they could channel that energy to actually trap people's energy there. So 9/11, we have to talk about what happened on 9/11, because New York wasn't the same, because a fear that city has never known was introduced there that day. And that fear energy is now, it's like they planned this, the plague. It's like they planned it back then, because the way it all energetically connects is confounding. It's like, wow, that's really fucking manipulative. And so what happens is, you already have the overlay, you're on a power node, you're already starting to channel and trap people's energy there. So then you're like, okay, next step, now that we got all that set up, and that's when everything will be prosperous, you'll be in an illusion that everything's great. So now that they have all that set up, people of New York used to be brave. They used to have a warrior spirit. Like it was a thing that New Yorkers would always talk shit to you and whatever, but then at the end of the day, they would really be like the nicest people, and that culture doesn't exist there anymore. I remember when I was a kid, it was like that, and then the older I got, especially after 9/11, you could see a withering away of people's souls. So that fear created a trauma, right? So if I slam this desk right now, I would create trauma in your consciousness, and it would fragment your consciousness. And then I could go in and insert an entity into your consciousness. And people do this in NLP. Pastors do this in church, where they actually take, they'll talk low, and then they'll go really high, and then they lull you back. Like a child that got smacked, but all they wanted was to be with their mommy. So mommy goes, oh, come here, baby, come here. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. Also, that's a cycle in abusive relationships. Yeah, they had to have planned it a long time ago. Yeah, it's different. So what ends up happening is that created trauma. Then they went and created a police state in New York, where they started adding in, and I was in New York at this time, so I saw it. Like, I saw the transformation. They started adding more police officers. And the police were military. They weren't like regular cops. Like, they had big guns and rifles and stuff to protect us. But really what it was is it created intimidation and fear in the subconscious mind. So now you got these people primed and ready to acquiesce to anything you say, because you already fragmented and created trauma in their consciousness, right? Cracked them open. Then you were being protective or pretending to be protective, and now you've gotten them used to a military state. So now that you've gotten them used to a military state and acquiescing to authority over the years on a consistent basis, and seeing that as natural when it absolutely is not natural. Now when you introduce the plague to them, whether it's real or imagined, when you introduce the plague to them, these individuals can do nothing but be in extreme fear. And the fear, from what I was getting, so this is how body snatching happens. A lot of people already have unhealed trauma. So now it's this huge portal, right, that's been set up over time, where you have this strong power node sending out a beacon into the universe that's attracting nothing but low vibrational entities and fear. And this is done a double way, that it actually lowers the vibration on the entire planet to try and keep us at a lower consciousness than what we deserve. So ascension is essential at this time. This is why I said, anyone who this resonates with, please send love, please send healing, please send energy to New York, because that is a very strong power node, and there is a very deviant manipulation happening there right now. And I just want all of us to get together and really just like start sending energy, sending love, sending healing, sending clearing, just clearing energy. Because, I mean, even I was talking to a family friend yesterday, and I was asking them how things are, and I have friends up there, and I asked them, and they're like, it's just different. And then when I was feeling into her vibration, and I helped her with some energy work and stuff, to help raise her vibration so she can start to be a beacon there. But it was lower than when I left. Her energy has never been that low. She's not like a low vibrational person. But I was like, why do you feel so heavy and like dense? And so that's what the fear is doing. It's actually making people there really heavy and dense, and it's lowering the frequency. And then also people are in so much fear, because when you're in fear, that creates scarcity. And when you're in fear, that creates a scarcity mentality, lack, guilt, shame. That's what makes people acquiesce. That's what makes people give up their rights, because now they want to do anything to feel safe. Their root chakra is completely shot at that point. They want to do anything to feel safe because they don't feel safe anymore. And they think that this authority that on many levels, physical and spiritual, completely manipulated this area. Complete manipulation and control. And they took that, and I mean, they created a powerful portal using the natural energies that are there. So imagine if we could do something like this, even in small ways, for ourselves. And I'm going to get into how you can do it for yourself in a second. I just wanted to explain this because it's a good example of how we really need to send love there. But it's a good example of how, when you know what you're doing, you can work with the energies and really create something powerful. But the people there are being completely infringed upon at this point. So yeah, and thank you for sending some love to New York from Kenya. They really need it. They need the healing there. They certainly do. I've been doing a lot of meditations and healing and just sending energy, because I send energy all over the earth. A lot of times I'll do meditations with Gaia, and I'll just go into the core of the earth and just try my best to go, where do you need me to go? Where do you need me to be? You know what I mean? Take my etheric body there, my little spiritual vehicle, and go and do my best to try and heal the planet. That's my side work. I've even, me and Joe have worked together to assist in shifting timelines and things of that nature as well. So, we're all here and we all have a part to play in the ascension. So let's work together, wherever your part is, take up your mantle. It's time. It is time. So that's what's going on over there. Now, how you can set up a grid for yourself, you can use like quartz crystal points. And then say I wanted to set up a grid, we can use a crystal grid. You can use a sigil. Also, that spiraling pattern is important because that is the nature of a portal. Portals swirl in the middle of our solar system, or our universe, not our solar system, but in the middle of our universe, there's a black hole. What they don't tell you, because they say, oh, it's a black hole in the center of the universe, it's all going to get swallowed up. No. Right next to the black hole, there's new stars being born every day. How is this possible? Because that's the way it is. The energy is being recycled. So the energy is coming in. Okay, this energy is done with their experience. Now we can bring in new energies to have a new experience. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful cycle. And what ends up happening, so this spiraling is the essence of creation. It's everything. It's the pattern that creates everything. So if you can create a portal, and what I would do is, if I had to do a rudimentary portal right now, I would get an index card, a permanent marker. I would create a spiral in the middle. I would get a crystal, put it in the middle, and I would do nothing but charge that motherfucker, because I would charge it with the like energy, or the energy that I want to manifest. So I would try, if I couldn't find anything, I would try and use a type of quartz or crystal quartz, because you can charge it to be any sort of element. But I would find a crystal that resonated with, so for example, I have fool's gold right here, right? So, and I've actually used this one to manifest money when I was in a tight situation, and it did me some good. So boom, a little spiral, crystal right in the middle. I'm charging it now. I'm just sending it energy to charge it up. And then when I'm ready, I take my hand off and I send the energy out and up to create a resonant frequency. So now that I've created that frequency and that's ongoing and I'm constantly giving it energy, I'm creating a spiral that draws into it like energy. So if this resonates with manifestation, I can take that, boom, boom. And I've actually, what I did was too, is I found copper wire and I created like a little pole on top of it too when I did it. I took it off now, but I had like a little pole. I put this crystal in a little, like one of these little bowls, but with water. Because this is just like, you know, Palo Santo, you know, you got to keep your stuff somewhere. But I had a little copper pole that I created. With wire wrapping. It was very rudimentary. Then I put water, and then I had the index card with the actual circle there, and I kept it by the window to keep it charged too by the sun. And I would charge it if you charge it and clear it every day, you keep the frequency pretty high so that you can keep drawing in a like frequency. And then that will help you, that will assist you. Also, too, if you need to clear your energy, charge your incense. So, for example, if I want to, if I know I have to keep my energy really high this week because I've got work to do, I have things to manifest, like, and I don't always spend all my time manifesting, but I'm working on some big things right now, so I'm spending a lot of time manifesting. So, for example, I'll take my sandalwood incense and any blockages in the solar plexus, or because I still use, like I said, I still use them. I just don't use them predominantly anymore. So I'll take any blockages, channel them in, and then set the intention that when I burn this sandalwood, it's going to burn off any blockages as far as my finances. Because any blockages that I could feel in my energy body, I've already channeled them into the sandalwood. Then I burn the incense, and then those blockages are gone. So that's another way to constantly clear your energy. That's just another, you know, these are things that I do. These are just things that I do that I notice that they work really well. That way you're always in a state of creating and manifesting and getting inspiring ideas and things of that nature. So that's how you create a portal. And there's a million ways to do it. You can use pyramids. Pyramids are great. Try to, in one way or another, incorporate that spiral. Even if you just write it on an index card and put it underneath whatever you're doing. If you can get some nice parchment paper, that would be great. Or if you can get some nice like paper they use for magic and stuff. Even hemp paper might be really good. Something that's really natural. Take that, you know, draw on it, and then try to use like a natural ink, an ink that's created maybe from dragon's blood or from a certain herb or something like that. All right, sis, it's nice seeing you here, Sharon. So that's how you can start to create your own portals. Then you can start getting ill with it. Like if you wanted to charge it, if I had a quartz wand, for example, like a quartz crystal, I have one over here on the window that's about this big. So you can put 4 of them and then point them towards it to charge the energy. Like you can start getting real creative, and then maybe put different crystals. All right, we'll put some citrine here. Got this quartz. Oh, we about to manifest. Keep charging that hoe. And then honestly, it really works. Like it really works. And just get creative with it. Oh, you had that rum. Oh man, talk about opening portals. Start opening portals. That's also what your crown chakra is, a portal. And it like spirals too. And your third eye, there's just spirals everywhere. I see them. Look at my hair. Spirals. They're everywhere. They don't go away. Look at your fingerprints. You are a spiral. Let me think if there's anything else that I left out as far as portals and explaining what they are. Now, negative entities can also create portals, where the portals in the soul or in the like energetic body are kind of interesting. I don't see them that often. Once in a blue. They do it more with like hooks. And hooks are like just a little device that creates like this. It's like this etheric string. It's almost like a cord. From what I've seen, a really good place to learn about stuff like that. I think Aurora Rising Phoenix, I love her, and I actually incorporated some of her techniques into what I do, and it works really well. So it's like I took some of that stuff and I flipped it and used it for myself, because she does regression. So you'll be actually asleep, and then she'll use her guides, and then the guides that you resonate with, the archangels and stuff you resonate with, to help you heal. Oh man, she just does amazing. Like, I watch her videos and I get like fucking so inspired to like go harder and like help more people and like do so much more with my own work. Does anybody have any questions about this? So she has a video about hooks, portals, and implants, and you guys can go watch that video to learn more about them. I have to actually rewatch it myself. I see implants a lot of times back of the neck. You can etherically go in, add some like fire, or raise your kundalini to loosen it, raise your frequency, even by using your heart chakra to loosen it, and then you can kind of like pull energetically. If you had, oh, this is where I was having some pain. I had a little block right here. Yeah, my neck was hurting yesterday. Oh, I just started, I'm like, oh, look at me doing energy work on myself. So did anybody have questions about any of this stuff? What's up, Tangela? I already said what's up to Sharon. What's up, Danielle? Okay, Joe said Brother Panic and Elaine talked about how they planned. Yeah. Side note. How to channel. We'll use your, you could do that, but it's kind of dangerous. I had to go in. My cousin, I don't know if she'll mind me talking about this, but I guess I'll talk about it. One night she hit me up and she's like, yo, my fucking job is haunted, da, 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 da. And she wasn't kidding, it was haunted. And so I, you know me, go into meditation. I go there etherically, and I'm there. And what ended up happening was there were two really young witches, and they were wearing like these long green, like, they had gray and blue like dresses, but they were like long dresses, you know, like old school stuff, like colonial shit. And these two girls were really young witches, about 14, 15. And they used alchemy symbols and certain, because those alchemy symbols and stuff, I don't want to tell you guys how it can be used negatively, because I've had to break so many spells on people, because people try to put sigils, and it's so disheartening to see people trying to manipulate people like this. It really is. And when I see it, it'd be older people more than anything. Motherfuckers in their 50s that think that they're, you know, that their way of doing magic can't be fucked with, but then like someone pure source energy come in and fuck their shit up. But I've seen so many of that stuff. If you want to create a portal for a specific entity to channel through, then you would have to use what would resonate with them. I caution you, however, close portals, just how I taught you to close up your chakras in the back, because these two girls, they did a portal to Hades. They had this funny ass, actually it was a funny ass entity. It wasn't even mad at it. I was just like, you gotta go back to the underworld. You know you're not supposed to be here. And it would fuck with the customers and like make them angry and shit, and like make them just angry for no reason. And I asked my cousin after I sent them the fucking entity back to the underworld. I'm like, go the fuck home. You're not supposed to be here. You know that. You know that. Stop it. So they went back. I was able to free the girl, the aspects of their consciousness and their souls that was trapped there. So I freed them. And then I told my cousin just to walk around the store and use her heart chakra, or if she could get sage, she could do that too. But she said that weird stuff that was happening, like footsteps, like things turning on, lights turning off randomly, all that stuff has stopped since then. So make sure you close your portals, because what happened with these two girls is they didn't close the portal. They did this really powerful spell. They used these symbols they quite didn't understand, and they conjured up this entity from the underworld. That wasn't really a bad entity. Like I said, I didn't get rid of this guy's jinn because it wasn't their time to go yet. There's certain aspects of creation that they have their time to go. You don't want to rush anything. You really want to tap into your intuition with a lot of this stuff. So if I would have gotten rid of that being before their time, I'm violating universal law. So I'm not going to do that. because they still have something to do and they still have free will. So they, for some reason, Spirit wanted them here still. So I was like, all right, just leave and never come back. So with that, make sure you close your portals. So close your chakras. Now, if you have a portal open that's constantly bringing in a specific kind of energy, you should be okay with that. So it's just a frequency. So you'll just resonate that frequency consistently. Because when a portal is empty and open, anything can come through. So if you create a portal and you have no purpose for it, or don't set an intention for it, then anything will come through the portal. So you want to always set a purpose and intention for a portal before you open it and then end up dealing with some shit you wasn't ready for. And then you got to call Isabel, and then I got to do a clearing on your house. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. I expect better from you. Not that I wouldn't, because I would. I really, really like spiritual warfare. A lot. So if anybody's house is haunted, and you'll pay for my ticket, to take a flight, and my fee, you ain't even got to pay for my hotel room. Just pay for my flight and my fee. I'll come clear your house. I don't give a shit. I will. And that motherfucker will be goddamn clear, because every experience I have gives me more and more information. So I'm always, even before I get rid of certain people's attachments, I'll sit and question the being. Well, first, because the person needs to know how this happened, so we can prevent it from happening again. And then, I channeled somebody had some archonic attachments, because they had implants or something from them. I went back to the fucking archons and started talking to those motherfuckers. I was like, listen, motherfucker, da-da-da-da-da. And I said what I had to say to them. But a lot of times I gotta just straight transmute them, because they're gone. And how do you close portals? You just close them by setting the intention that they're closed. So think about how you close yourself off when you don't feel comfortable with someone. You would pull your energy in. So what you do is put your hand over and just imagine the energy, if it was this big, I would just imagine the and put my hand over it, because your hands are portals too, right? Slap them motherfuckers, wake them up. But put your hand over the portal and then just imagine the energy. If it's a big circle, it's just becoming smaller, 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 close. And then any way that you can imagine it, and just make sure you send that energy through. But any way that's comfortable for you to imagine it, that's how you would close it. Yeah, that's how I do it. Hey, Gail. Oh, and I don't know any that are helpful. Channel my higher self. Just channel my higher self. People have dreams about me sometimes. And they'll be like, yo, you were my spirit guide. And I was like, accurate. Everybody that hits me up tells me they have dreams that I'm like their spirit guide. Because I love y'all, and because I refuse to give up on you, because I refuse to give up on myself. Yeah. Gail, I want to stay on with y'all longer, but I got this book, the Kabbalah, the Kalipov, and Goetic Magic, and I gotta do some research, because I'm seeing some double talk and I need to understand. And I gotta research the jinn too. I'm gonna be doing that probably the rest of the day, because do I have clients today? Oh, I think I actually have a day off for once. So I'm gonna be working on some research, probably drop another fire ass video for you guys, and then I'll be working on that Patreon today. I think I want to put a post up on there and start working on next week's lessons. And I got to check in with everybody and see how they're doing with their assignment this week. So that's what I'll be doing. So I had a dream the other day, crazy, about being a superhero like Thanos. Yeah, I have had dreams like that with me, with the Soul Family, for the last year. So yeah, and then a lot of us are starting to come online, which is beautiful. And a lot of this information is going to give you that ability to come online. And remember, heal. Remember, oh, and by the way, heal, as hard as it might be. I remember there was an aspect of my inner child that I didn't heal, or that I just kind of overlooked it, and I had an uncomfortable feeling the other day. So I was like, man, if I'm telling people that they gotta go and question their triggers, go within, like, I gotta walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I gotta walk the talk, because I developed that, and then I don't really have a lot of triggers anymore. So, so you know, whenever I get an opportunity to work on a trigger, I consider that like a golden opportunity. Yeah, I know, because I had time off today. I could actually sit and talk to you guys. That's why I'm just kind of like chilling right now. Um, so, I did it though. I was like, okay, this is an uncomfortable feeling. I went through my steps and they worked. I was like, this is an uncomfortable feeling. I need to go in my heart chakra. And then what I'll do is, like, I'll focus on the feeling and start intensifying it. And then I'll just like follow the energetic frequency of it, like back. It's like this, like say this is the feeling and I'm growing it here, and then I'll follow the cord of it back to the memory. And I had a memory of when I was a little girl, and I remember feeling abandoned when my dad left for work, and I remember that like nobody would play with me, and I would be by myself, and like, oh, I'm like, oh, my inner child's like, oh, and I had to reintegrate that aspect of my inner child that felt abandonment issues. And I was like, wow, that wasn't even like a big feeling in my adult life. It got really, really subtle. But when I was a kid, and my mom was busy, she was babysitting, other kids around the neighborhood. They used to all come to our house. So my mom was busy. My dad was at work. My brother and my sister would play, but like I would always play by myself and keep myself super entertained. But I still needed like love and nourishment and people to see me, like my family and stuff, to see me and pour love into me. And I didn't have it, so I had to learn how to pour love into myself. And yeah, I didn't realize that like something so small in my adult life, it's like it didn't even feel, but I did it. And I reintegrated my inner child, the aspect of my inner child, brought her back to mama. I was like, come on in the heart chakra. I'm so happy you are here. I love you. And I think that aspect I was able to transcend. Oh, you guys can change your past lives, by the way, too. But that's a side note. And that was a really cool experience. So yeah, and you know what? Healing doesn't have to be like hard. Like it can be inspiring and fun and amazing if we let it be and we just go with the flow and like take the steps. All right, I'm triggered. Why? Let me go to the feeling. Let me intensify it. Let me trace it back and see. And if you guys don't have the PDF I did on memory regression, so you can memory regress yourself, it has to do with that process of intensifying the feelings and going back and back. Or even, and there's two ways to do it that I explained, but you can get creative and create your own way too. But if anybody wants it, it's a free PDF. I have it in Cosmic Gang, but just message me and I'll send you the PDF. It's not, I don't charge for that stuff. I just make it for love, because I love you. That's it. I'm like, I love you. This worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. All right. Well, that's enough for today, I guess. I got to get reading, but I love, honor, respect all of you. I appreciate my soul family. I appreciate you guys for being here with me today. And yeah, I'm just happy, and I'm happy to be connecting with all of you. We need each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't see me without you. So I thank you, I love you, I honor, I respect you, and just thank you for letting me into your lives in such a big way. Bye, guys.